If you are a professional woman in a high-stress job and you are working longer hours than everybody else on your team, but you are still not getting promoted, working harder might actually be the reason why you're stuck. Now, it sounds counterintuitive, so give me a couple minutes and I will show you exactly what's happening and why the thing that got you to where you are now is actually working against you. This is a pattern that I see all the time. You take on more responsibility, more hours, more work. You prepare more thoroughly than anybody else in the room. You double check everything. You become the person that everyone depends on. You do everything you're supposed to do. And then when it's time for promotion, it goes to somebody else. Someone who, from where you're standing, appears to be doing less, working fewer hours, carrying less of the load, and you're left questioning, like, what am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong, and why am I not being rewarded for all the work that I'm doing? And most women respond the only way that's ever worked before, by doing more, pushing even harder, more hours, more preparation, more. That feels logical. We assume that we didn't get what we wanted because we just didn't do enough. We've been conditioned to believe that we must work so hard in order to get what we want. It's logical, makes sense, but it actually makes the problem worse. And I want to explain why. Now, the leadership people, everybody around you, they're not evaluating how hard you work. They're evaluating how much capacity you appear to have. Hard work and capacity are not the same thing. When you start to operate at your limit, so when you're maxing out, even with good results, you don't read as someone who's ready for more responsibility. You read as someone who is already at their ceiling, somebody who's already hit the limits of what they can do. And that compounds the problem, because the harder you work, the more you amplify that signal. Every extra hour, every extra bit of preparation, every time you say yes and you take on something that wasn't yours to take on, you're then communicating to everybody that's watching you, everyone that's checking your performance, that she's full, this is what it looks like. And that's not the signal you want to send, but it's the one that they're receiving. And it's the one that they're making their judgments on whether you should get promoted or not on. Now, here's the thing that's most important to understand, because it's not always obvious. This isn't a perception problem. It's not about mindset. It's not about skill set. It's something that you don't need to fix by learning to appear to be more strategic. Okay, what people are detecting, whether they know it or not, is a physiological signal. Okay, it's not an output signal, it's more to do with input. When your nervous system is operating in chronic overload, stressed out, maxed out, your cognitive function starts to change. Your decision making starts to slow down. Your strategic thinking becomes more effortful instead of natural, and you start having to compensate. You start working harder and producing the same output that you used to produce with less effort. And that compensation is visible. And it's not because your performance is bad, it's just because the effort is so visible. And effort at a higher level reads as strain. The strain becomes visible. So the promotion doesn't go to the person who's working hardest. It goes to the person who looks like they can handle the most. The person who can absorb more without strain. And right now, that's not how you're reading. So working harder and trying to do better, do more, that's not going to fix it. So what will? What will fix it? It's the shift from effort to capacity. And there's a specific sequence to it. Step 1 is diagnosing the actual constraint. Okay, it's not looking into your time management, it's not looking into your skills, it's not looking at your confidence, it's not looking at your network, it's nothing like that. It's looking at the actual load that your nervous system is carrying and where it's capped. Now, most people in this situation have been running in chronic activation for so long that they've completely lost the baseline to compare against. They've been stuck for so long that they don't even know what the starting point should have been. So the first step will be identifying what's actually depleted. After that, step 2 becomes about stabilizing your operating state. So when your nervous system is chronically stressed, it's always running in survival mode, which is what happens as a result of chronic overload. Your strategic thinking will degrade. Your focus gets worse. Your health starts to suffer. Your energy drops. Everything becomes a problem. And it's not a mindset thing. It's nothing to do with motivation. It's all physiological. Your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain that handles long-range thinking, it starts to go offline under sustained load. So you can't be composed. You can't make quality decisions. So if we can start to stabilise that first, then everything else will follow. Which is where we move into step 3. Step 3 is building capacity infrastructure before you need it. So not trying to recover from a complete collapse, not trying to play catch up after the pressure is hit. It's building it in advance so that you know when pressure increases, and it will, because it does, that's life, that you actually have margin. You're operating at maybe 70%, not 100%. And that 30% of visible reserve is what the leadership will interpret as readiness. When you can hit your current workload and your current performance level by doing less, then that gives space. And the space is what people will see. When your nervous system has genuine capacity, something starts to shift in how you carry yourself. And it's not because you've gone and worked on your presence, your posture, your communication style. It's simply because your physiology is better. You're not compensating anymore. You're not pushing and constantly fighting to get things done. You start looking like you're operating effortlessly at a higher level. And you will be, because you have the capacity to do that. And that's what gets you promoted. Not working harder, not doing all the stuff, improving your capacity, getting your nervous system functioning better. So if this is relevant to you and your situation, I have a free training, the Capacity Catalyst Workshop, that you can go and watch right now. No email, no opt-in, nothing like that. You can go watch it on the page, it's there for you. It goes deeper into the capacity constraint. It explains what blocks advancement and the structural sequence that we want to use in order to correct it. So if this is hit and you think, yeah, I want to learn a bit more about that, go hit that link down there, go watch the training, 100% free. And you'll even get access to the capacity assessment so you can figure out your baseline.